So I only do this call once a year. I'm going to go into complete detail about how you create your one-page strategic plan. So let me talk to you real quick about what my intention for this call is. My intention is I'm going to give you every single thing that you need to create your one-page strategic plan. That way you can have it completed and done by the time you go into 2017. If you do what I am talking about here today, or you're listening to the recording, and you complete your plan before December 31st, then I want you to go to my website at johnpyron.com, J-O-H-N-P as in Paul, Y-R-O-N. I want you to click on book appointment, book a 15-minute phone call for you and I to review your plan. I'm going to give you live coaching on your plan, give you some pointers so you can go into the year ready to rock and roll. So let's get started. What is your intention for being here today? What is your intention for listening to or watching the recording? If I told you that every dream that you've ever wanted in life can be accomplished in business, but there's something specific that you have to do, what would you be willing to do? As long as it's honest, legal, moral, ethical, so forth. So what if I told you that you had to get dressed up in a painter's outfit and you had to hop on this toy donkey here and ride down the busiest street in your town with fire coming out of that donkey's butt, and you had to do it in front of all your friends and neighbors and everything else? If I said that's what you had to do to succeed and achieve your goals in 2017, the question is, would you do it? And most of you would say yes to that because you're committed to your dreams and goals. So the thing I love, love, love about the one-page strategic plan is it's the one time in the year that I get to get laser focused on what happened last year, where I'm going to go into this next year. And kind of the story behind it is this. Back in 2006, I started a company called Intelligent Business Network Solutions. Prior to that, I had built 3 businesses, 2 of them into the millions of dollars. And I had always done it with a 25, 40, 50-page business plan. I mean, it took several weeks to complete. And it went on the shelf, and that's where it hung out for the rest of the year. When I met my mentor, Phil Bristol, in April of 2006, he taught me this strategy of the one-page plan. It has literally been the biggest game changer in every business I've built since then. It's been the biggest game changer in every client that I've helped build businesses. It's been the biggest game changer as it relates to employees and getting them fired up and getting them excited about what their role is in the company. Because if you look at how to motivate an employee, it's a lot easier to motivate an employee when they take ownership of their role. And so the key is mastering this art yourself and then teaching others to do the same. And so I'm aware that some of you have never heard me speak before. Okay, some of you have never digested any of my content. This is probably the first time. So a little bit about my background. This house that you see on the slide deck right now is a house that's located on 40th Avenue and East 14th Street in Oakland, California. Now, back in the day, when I was 17 and a half in 1987, which means I'm going to be 47 this coming Thursday. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Anyways, I literally was homeless living behind this house. There was a trailer behind the house. It had no windows, about the size of a queen-size bed. My parents had divorced and split and left, and I said, I'm not going with either one of you. I chose to live behind this house in an abandoned trailer. Now, if you've ever gone through divorce, if you've ever had any challenges in life, if you've ever gone through any mess, guess what? I know exactly where you're coming from. Now, fast forward. September 24th, 2010, Sacramento Business Journal has me as the center page article because I built a company from 0 to 6 figures in 3 years, or 0 to 7 figures in 3 years, and then grew it an additional 63.9% while the economy was collapsing. Now, the only reason I share this with you is this, because this isn't about me, it's about you. Here I am, homeless, dropped out of high school, on drugs, family's all screwed up, okay, no chance of success at all. And yet here I am. This is my 4th company. This is the third company I built from nothing to over $1 million. How does somebody go from being homeless to being a CEO of several $1 million companies and multiples since then? Simply this: mentoring, coaching, leadership development, finding people to plug into. So if you get nothing out of what we're talking about here today, if you really want to maximize what you have going on in 2017, highly recommend you plug into somebody, either plug into an online training seminar, maybe you find somebody that you really like. Like I constantly listen to Grant Cardone every single week. He mentors me through his books, his audios, his seminars, his workshops, all that stuff. Dave Vanny, this guy right here is probably the mentor I've been working with the longest. He's made all the difference in my life. Here's the point. Find somebody that can be a mentor to you, that can give you the techniques that you need, can see down the road, can point out your blind spots that you don't see so you can achieve your dreams and goals. I was looking at my journal this morning, and I had a chance to look back on December of last year and the things that I wrote down. And looking at it, here we are a year from now, the things that I do a thing every year where I write down, okay, what are my top goals for the next year? And then I write down, okay, what are the things preventing me from hitting those goals? And I write those things down. What are the obstacles? Maybe it's a behavior. Maybe it's something holding you back. Maybe it's a relationship. Maybe it's finances. Whatever it is, I write down what are the obstacles standing in my way to hit my new goals that I've set. And so as I was looking through this list, I noticed there were several things that I went out and got a mentor and overcame those challenges. And then there were like 3 or 4 others that I'm like, damn it, man, I'm still struggling with that challenge. When am I going to get rid of that challenge in my life? And so it allows you to celebrate your wins. It allows you to set some new goals and some new objectives. So that's just something I do. Maybe it'll work for you. So let's hop into our content. So in this session today, I'm going to walk you through an overview of the one-page methodology. I'm also going to, just a second here, I'm also going to show you how this powerful document can be used in many different businesses and professional situations. And then finally, you're going to learn how a one-page plan can quickly and effectively communicate the essence of any business concept in less than 5 minutes. So, where do we start? It all starts with our mindset. Because some of you watching this live broadcast or even watching the recording, or maybe you're on the audio, you're saying to yourself, well, I'm not a business owner. I'm not a big business owner. I'm just a solopreneur, John. I don't have any employees. Maybe you are an employee, and one of the things that I want to get you resonated with is your mindset is critical to your success in 2017. And the most important thing is to understand that you yourself are a business. Whatever it is you do, whether you work for somebody or whether you own your own business, you yourself, you incorporated, are a business. It's like Jay-Z said, I'm not a businessman, I'm a business man. And so if you want to increase your revenue, if you want to achieve those dreams and goals that you've always been after, you need to think like a business. because here's the bottom line. It's like Jay-Z says in this slide here. You are a business. So very important to shift in that mindset that you yourself are a business. And so I'll give you an example. The power of mindset. Here's a client of mine. Her name is Deborah Scarpa. She owns a company called Design by Friday here in the Sacramento region. She's actually in El Dorado Hills, California. Highly, highly, highly recommend you connect with Deborah Scarpa for her design social media services, her entire marketing services now. But when I started working with Deborah back in 2014, she had been in business for 22 years. And she was stuck at a certain income level. And she could not go beyond that. Her only lead generation system at the time was organic referrals, meaning she would do a great job and people would refer other people to her. But there were no systems in place for generating referrals or generating leads. And the referrals started drying up and became very inconsistent. And so we were at a networking event, and the format of the networking event was I volunteered as a coach to give away a 10-minute free coaching session, and she signed up to do a free coaching session with me. We resonated so much that we started working together. And probably about 4 weeks into the relationship, I started noticing things that she was saying. Things like, I don't want to sound salesy. I don't want to come off as a salesperson. You know what, John, that sounds great, but I don't want to be too pushy. And it dawned on me that Deborah has a resistance to sales. And maybe some of you did not achieve your 2016 goals because you may have a resistance to sales. And if that's you, here's what I told Deborah. I said, hey, you have a resistance to sales. She goes, no way. I go, yeah. She goes, I've been in business for 22 years. What do you mean I got a resistance to sales? And so I started pointing out the things that she was saying, the things that she was saying to herself, basically reinforcing that sales is a negative concept. See, what do you think of when you think of a salesperson? Most of us think of pushy, liar, fast talker, slick, manipulative. We think of the used car sales guy. We think of the pushy guy that comes to our door at night, and he's got to go to college, and you got to give him a donation that night because it's all dependent upon him. Or you go to the mall and the person pulls you aside and is like, hey, sir, can I talk to you for a minute? And we look at that and we go, I don't want to be that. And I agree with you. I don't want to be that either. But that's most people's definition of sales is pushy and that sort of thing. So if that's you, here's the good news. It's not your fault. However, if you have a resistance to sales, making that phone call, picking up that phone, maybe in 2016 you avoided the phone like a plague. Maybe in 2016 you could have closed somebody, but you didn't know how. And so you just said, hey, here's what we're going to offer you. Here's the different programs. Hey, just let me know when you're ready to move forward. Or maybe you went out and you did a rock solid presentation. You spent a crap load of money on marketing. You spent a crap load of money on setting the appointment. You went out and you did this presentation that was unbelievably stellar. And then at the end they said, well, you know what, John, we just want to think about it. And maybe you said, okay, well, go ahead and think about it, and I'll get back to you. And how about next Tuesday I get back to you? And you say, oh, okay. So you get back to him next Tuesday, and it goes to voicemail. Then it goes to voicemail again. Then it goes to voicemail again. And the reason is because you've never been trained on how to effectively close, and they sold you on waiting when you could have closed that deal right then and there. Maybe that's you. And I want you to forgive yourself. I want you to to understand it's not your fault. Most of us have a resistance to sales. Most of us have never, ever been professionally trained in sales. Now, here's the good news. And here's the news I gave Deborah. Napoleon Hill in 1933, released a book called Think and Grow Rich. He was commissioned by Andrew Carnegie to go and interview the most successful people on this planet at the time and understand what makes them so successful. And one of the things he discovered is it was their mindset. It's what they would say to themselves. And he discovered that by using a technique called auto-suggestion, you can re-engineer your thought process. Because, see, here's what happens in the mind. You have an experience, whether it's through touch, smell, sight, hearing, what's the other sense? Touch, smell, hearing, sight, and feel, right? Which is touch, right? Yeah. So whenever something happens to you, what happens is it goes into your subconscious mind. Oh, taste. That's right. Goes into your subconscious mind, which accesses everything ever recorded in your entire life. Whether it's good or bad, the subconscious mind doesn't care. It doesn't have any filter. It just records it. It says, oh, this experience happened several years ago, and so this is how you should respond because this is a very dangerous situation. Something happened in your past and it caused you pain, and so it tells your conscious mind how to react. Now, this happens in a microsecond. Okay? It's not like you sit there and go, tell you how powerful the subconscious mind was. If you had to be on this webinar and control your heartbeat, that would not be good, right? You'd be sitting here listening to, oh, wait, beat. Oh, you got to remind, okay, oh, breathe. No, see, the subconscious mind controls so many things without your permission, and it only operates based off of what you programmed it to do. And so all that past history, all that negative experience that you've had as it relates to sales tells your conscious mind, hey, I hate sales. And what Napoleon Hill discovered is you can re-engineer your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind will focus on what you give it attention to. And so what I had to do is give Deborah a new definition for sales. And I wish I could claim authorship of it, but I learned this from a previous mentor of mine, a guy named Eric Lofholm. And one of the best definitions of sales that I ever had. I used it myself. I'd been in sales for 23 years when I started mentoring with Eric, and I discovered I myself had a resistance to sales. And I've been extremely successful at sales, And it goes like this. Selling equals service. Sell from honesty, integrity, and compassion. Selling is about leading. Selling is about moving people to action. Let me say it again so you can write it down. Selling equals service. Sell from honesty, integrity, and compassion. Selling is about leading. Selling is about moving people to action. So one more time. Selling equals service. Sell from honesty, integrity, and compassion. Selling is about leading. Selling is about moving people to action. Okay? So here's what I told Deborah. I said, I want you to write this down on a 3x5 card. And I want you to read it first thing when you get up in the morning and right before you go to bed, and then I want you to read it 8 other times throughout the day. So I want you to read it out loud or to yourself 10 times a day for the next 30 days. Can you do that? She said yes. Okay? So here's the results, and I'll let her put it in her own words. She said, if you go to my LinkedIn profile, it says, we highly recommend John Pyron for his consulting services. Now, here's the key. Our business revenue grew 4 times while working with John. Now, it wasn't that I was so great or any of that other stuff. Okay? But had I not consulted her on this mindset, she could not have grown that revenue 4 times. She grew that revenue 4 times. I remember the 4th month, I go, you're going to do X amount of dollars this month. She goes, no way. And I go, yeah, way. She goes, impossible. I go, yeah, no, you're going to do it. And so, she sends me a text at 8:34 in the morning on the last day of July. She goes, I don't know, man. We're $800 short. I'm like, it's 8:30 in the morning. Get back to work. Okay? So she sends me a text later in the afternoon after the day's over. She exceeded the goal by $500. And it taught her a very valuable lesson, and that is, you know what? Your mindset controls everything. And so if you want that, if you struggle with sales, if you struggle with this mindset, I want you to get the book Think and Grow Rich, number one. I want you to write out that definition and repeat it to yourself or out loud 3 times a day or 10 times a day for the next 30 days. Okay? All right. Let's talk about what is a one-page plan. So the one-page plan is an innovative approach to business planning that captures the essence of any business on a single page, and here's the key, using keywords and short phrases. That's what a one-page business plan is. Here's what the structure looks like. It starts off with a very specific vision about your business, and we're going to get into exactly how to write your vision statement on today's call/webinar. Number 2 is your mission, which comes out of your vision. So your vision is ultimately where you want to go. Your mission is how you're going to get there. These are the 2 most important aspects of the entire one-page planning process. Every single word is important, and it needs to fit in a certain area, in a certain box, so you can fit everything else on one page. Not 2 pages, 1 page. So in the beginning, when you write out your vision and your mission, it could be long, and then we're going to whittle it down to where it's a lot more meaningful to you and your employees and to your clients. So once you've established your vision, your mission, now we're going to nail out, okay, what are the objectives that we're going to accomplish in 2017? And we're going to get very specific in that. Then we're going to look at the objectives and go, okay, what are the strategies that we are going to use over the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months to accomplish those objectives? And then finally, once you have the strategies in place, what are the plans? What are the action plans that we're going to do this month, this quarter, this year, using those strategies to hit the objectives? I got to tell you, I love, love, love this process, because ever since I've started using it, every client that I've told it, instructed on, they hit their objectives. You know, my client Anastasios Hionis, yesterday, we had celebrated 1 year of working together. And what's interesting is I taught him this one-page plan concept. And over this last year, we created his one-page strategic plan. And what's been really great is over the last 2 months, we've been crossing off the annual objectives because he's been hitting them. Most recent, his annual revenue objection, he plowed right through it. We wanted to grow his business by 1.5 times. So over 150% growth in 1 year. And we hit that goal. And now it's looking like he's going to more than double, more than do a 200% increase. That's the power of a one-page plan. So let's talk about the different building blocks of the one-page plan, and then we're going to go into some work where you can actually take action on this. Now, if you registered for this webinar, or you go to the registration page and you register, meaning you give me your name, your email, and your phone number, okay, and yes, I am going to call you. Yes, I am going to email you. And here's why. Because I'm going to work with you for the rest of this year for nothing, okay, so you can have your plan ready to go by 2017. Okay, and the way I look at it is this way. If you complete your plan, then you go to my website at johnpyron.com, you click book appointment, and you're going to book 15 minutes with me, and I'm going to give you pointers on your plan. I'm not going to pitch you on any program. I'm not going to try to sell you anything. I promise you, I'm just going to give you 15 minutes of undivided time. And if I earn the right to have another appointment with you, then we'll set that appointment. If not, you're just going to get a great 15-minute strategy session. Okay? All right, so let's talk about Vision statement, okay? There are 5 building blocks to a one-page plan. Vision statement, mission statement, objectives, strategies, and plans. These 5 elements work together to create a complete blueprint for how to build a business. And I want to reiterate that even if you don't own your own company, here's an unbelievable statistic. So let's just say you're an employee, right? You're going, man, I'm not even a business owner, John. I'm just, here's what shocks me. I'm just an employee, okay? Well, let me give you some statistics about being just an employee. 3 out of the 4 brand new millionaires this year were employees. They don't own their own company. They work for someone else. 3 out of the 4 brand new millionaires last year were employees. They didn't own their own business. So being an employee, those people that did make $1 million as an employee, they treat their role, their job, as a business. And so understand, this is for you as well. So let's talk about the different business terms that we're going to be talking about today so I can eliminate the confusion. And I've translated the standard elements of the business plan into 5 simple universal questions. Okay? Vision. What is a vision statement? It's very simple. What are you building? What are you building? How are you going to know when it's done? You're going to need to describe what you're building in complete detail. And once you register, if you go on the site and register, I'm going to send you a document that walks you through an exercise on step-by-step how to create your vision statement. I'm going to also go over it on today's webinar / conference call. Okay, what are you building? Number 2, what does its mission? Why does this business exist? Okay, what is it that you exist for? What do you do for other people and yourself? Specifically others. What do you do for them? Next is objectives. What are the results that you will measure? So when we're talking about vision, we're talking about what you're building. When we're talking about mission, we're talking about why your business exists. When we're talking about objectives, we're talking about what results will you measure. And then when it comes to strategies, we're talking about how will you build it? What are the strategies that you're going to use? How are you going to build your business? And then finally, action plans. What is the work that needs to be done? Because, see, you can have a very compelling vision. You can have a rock-solid mission statement. Man, you can go through this exercise over the next 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks before the beginning of the year and put together some rock-solid objectives. Meet with me, meet with other coaches, create the best strategies on the planet. But if you don't create action plans that you actually take action on, I got news for you. It's just a dream. It's just a pipe dream. It ain't ever going to happen. How about you go back and look at your objectives and strategies and plans that you created last year and see where you're at right now? Some of you, the last time you looked at your vision, mission, objectives, strategies, and plans was last year, and you haven't looked at it since then. And that stops today, because this one-page plan is something that you can carry around in your notebook, something that you can look at every day and get through it in less than 5 minutes, something that will keep you fired up, something that will give you specific actions and plans as to what needs to get done so you can move forward. And so the best way that I know how to understand a one-page business plan is to read one. So let's look at a company called the Colorado Window Company, obviously located in, guess where? Colorado. Okay? So let's look at their vision statement. Their vision statement, okay, and it's important to understand the vision statements describe the business that we're building. So here's their vision statement. Within the next 3 years, build Colorado Garden Window Company into a $40 million home products company specializing in manufacturing and distributing custom and replacement garden windows and skylights. So notice how they word it. Within the next 3 years, very specific, within the next 3 years, they're going to build Colorado Window Garden Company into a $40 million home products company. They're going to specialize in manufacturing, distributing custom and replacement garden windows and skylights. It's very, very specific as to what they want to get accomplished in their business over the next 3 years. Let's look at their mission statement. The mission statements describe why the business exists and the benefit the customers will receive. So here's their mission statement. Bring light, air, and the beauty of nature into homes through creative windows. So the vision statement is, where are we going? The mission statement is, how are we going to get there? How they're going to get there is they're going to bring light, air, and the beauty of nature into homes through, and here's how they're going to do it, creative windows. That's how they're going to achieve their vision statement. Next, let's talk about their objectives. And keep in mind, objectives define what we will measure. And keep in mind also, well-written objectives can be graphed because they contain a numeric value. So if you cannot measure it, it's not an objective. That's a simple bottom line. So here's their objectives. Over this next year, we're going to increase gross revenues 15% to $17 million. We're going to achieve a profit before tax of $1.5 million. Not bad. We're going to reduce our cost of goods sold to 38% through automation. We're going to reduce distribution costs to 4% of sales. So very specific, measurable objectives. We're going to reduce inventory to 3.3 months by August 31st. We're going to increase active store count by 4,500 by year end. And we're going to achieve 98% on-time delivery with 98% accuracy. Now, there are 7 objectives here. One of the things I want to point out when you're writing your own objectives, and this is something I learned from my mentor Phil, you are not allowed any more than 9. No more than 9 objectives, and they have to fit on 1 sentence. So 9 objectives. So notice that they're very clear. They have a definite target. It is definitely measurable. They will know when they get there. So every one-page strategic plan I've ever written, okay, I'll give you an example. Let me actually pull up an actual one-page plan that I have personally done. Okay, so this is a company I own called Intelligent Business Network Solutions. Okay, this was my 2011 one-page plan. Okay, there's the vision statement. Okay, I didn't have a specific date for this vision because this is what I wanted to build. This is what I wanted to be known by. My mission statement was simple. We align technology with business objectives. That's what we did. That particular year, okay, wanted to grow from 1.02 million to 1.2. All these objectives here were very measurable. Okay, all of it. Okay. Nine objectives. Okay, so it's very important to keep it to 1 sentence. Now, let me go back to our slide deck here. Let's talk about strategies. So what are the strategies that Colorado Window Company did? And keep in mind, strategies are broad statements that describe how the business will be built and what will make it successful over time. So what were their strategies? Number one was to focus on upscale home developments and baby boomer remodeling trends. Number two strategy, build Colorado Garden Window into a nationally recognized brand name. Number three strategy, become the vendor of choice by maintaining inventory of standard window sizes. And number four, control quality by manufacturing in-house. Now, here's one of the things I've learned is no more than 9 strategies. If there's 9. One of the things I love about this one-page plan by this company is they keep it simple. There's only 4 strategies that they have, and trust me, in business and success, simple is better. Simple's better, man. It's a lot easier to be consistent when things are simple versus complicated. Now let's look at their plans. And these are just examples. We're going to get into your plans, actions, vision here in just a minute because I'm going to give you some homework. So plans describe the work or projects that need to be completed in the next 12 months. Now, depending on the plan, okay? Depending on the plan. Because the last time I taught this, I was laying out plans for 12 months. What I've learned over this last year that's a lot more powerful is I lay out my plans based on a monthly basis. It's been a whole lot more effective. It's been a whole lot more successful. My clients have had a whole lot more success by revisiting our one-page plan every month and really just looking at what are the short-term things that we can accomplish in the next 30 days. And then revisiting the strategies once a quarter. Are these working or are they not? And visiting the objectives once a year. So that's how I've transitioned my business this year. It's been a whole lot more effective. I grew well over almost 200%. Okay, in fact, by the end of the year, I will have grown 200% this year because I switched it up this year. Instead of focusing my plans on 12 months, I focused them on a monthly basis. Instead of focusing my strategies on an annual basis, I started focusing them on a quarterly basis. And then my objectives remain once a year. And then I found a different mentor to work with. And it's made all the difference in the world. So let's look at their plans. What is an example of their plans? What are the plans they use? They introduced new scenic garden window at San Francisco Product Show in March 10th is one of the things that they're going to do. Next, they're going to hire a new sales rep by April and focus on signature homes in Denver and Provo. And finally, phase in new packaging design by March 31st. So those are the 3 plans that they're going to focus on, and they're going to pour all their energy and efforts on those 3 plans. And by doing that, using the strategies that they have, they're going to achieve the objectives. I know it because every time I work this plan, I achieve my objectives. Very rarely now do I not achieve the objectives I've laid out in my business because of the one-page plan. So let's talk about the one-page plan methodology. One-page plans are written based on a process of dialogue, analysis, brainstorming, and collaboration. The next few pages that we're going to go over, by the way, are going to provide an overview of the simple but powerful techniques we have developed that help entrepreneurs and business owners quickly write business plans that others can read and fully comprehend in less than 5 minutes. And that's the power of the one-page plan. I, as a business owner, as an employer, I can sit down with my employees and review their one-page plan in less than 5 minutes, and we can have a very, very, very productive meeting. I can sit down with my business partner, my employees, my coach, my mentor, and within 5 to 10 minutes can have an extremely powerful conversation about my business. Either I'm on track or I'm not. Either I'm getting it done or I'm slacking off. That's the power of this plan. So let's talk about you. What are you building? What is your vision statement? And if you read, I'm going to send everybody this slide deck. And I'm going to send you the note sheets. So you want to make sure that you go, if you don't know where to register, get a hold of Ashley, right? Go jpyron@johnpyron.com, okay? And she'll get you registered. Vision statements answer these types of questions. Here's the questions that you want to ask yourself. Number one, what will your business look like in 1, 3, or 5 years? What do you want it to look like? Now, if you're more visionary than most people, you know, what's your business going to look like 10 years from now, 20 years from now? I've never been effective at more than 1, 3, and 5 years. I've never been effective at 5 years. Okay, I've been very effective at 3 years in 1 year. But for some reason, my makeup, my personality style, my behavioral style, it changes so quickly, so fast. 3 years is the max for me. And that's fine. I have goals that I want to accomplish, you know, a lot of different goals 20 years from now. And all I've done is I've reversed engineered it down to where it's 3-year bite-sized chunks, and then 1-year bite-sized chunks, and then, you know, 6-month chunks, and then quarterly chunks, and then monthly chunks. Again, simpler is better. Next, what type of company is this? Next, what markets do you serve? Is there a geographic scope to your business? Who are your target customers? What are your products and or services? What sales goals are you striving for? Now, if you're on the live webinar or watching the recording, pause this recording or take a snapshot of this screen. Or get the recording and go through it. Here's a fill in the blank template. So within the next blank years, grow your company name into, what's the dollar amount? Maybe it's 6 figures, maybe it's $1 million. What's your deal? Okay, are you going to be local, regional, national, international? What type of company? Providing what? What types of descriptions of products or services are you going to provide? And to whom are you going to provide them? So to recap, just fill in the blanks here. Within the next blank years, grow your company into a blank $1 million, international products and services company or coaching company providing coaching, workshops, and webinars to business owners and coaches, right? So if I was to fill this in for my own business, within the next 5 years, grow John Pyron Coaching into a $10 million international coaching and consulting company providing coaching, consulting services, seminars and workshops to small business owners and medium business owners all over the world. Okay? Whatever it is for you, it is for you. Fill in the blank. You know, I've learned that fill in the blank statements help entrepreneurs and business owners to quickly create their first draft. Then it is much easier for them to edit the statement into their own words. So give it a shot. Do that over the next couple of weeks. Now, here's the key. If you want to get your business plan done, your one-page plan done by the end of the year and have it really mean something, what you need to do is set aside blocks of time. For me, it usually takes about 4 2-hour blocks of time for me to get my plan done every single year. You don't want to rush it. Set aside 2, 3, 4 2-hour blocks of time between now and the end of the year to complete your plan. Next, okay, let's talk about, that's your vision statement. Okay, so what are you building? So here's your homework. Set aside some time to specifically focus on your vision and your mission statement. That should be block number 1. What is your vision and mission statement? Speaking of which, let's talk about mission statements. So mission statements answer the following questions. Number one, who are your customers? Who are your customers? Who's your perfect client? Next question, what wants, needs, desires, pain, or problems do your product or services solve? So what wants, needs, desires, pain, or problems do your product or services solve? Next, what is your unique selling proposition? Now, for those of you that are new to the conversation, if you go to my website, johnpyron.com, johnpyron.com, or actually better still, go to my YouTube channel, okay? Go to my YouTube channel, go up to YouTube, type in John Pyron. There is a video up there called Marketing to Sales Funnel. It's a workshop that I did for the Rockland Chamber of Commerce. Fast forward it to the section where I talk about how to find out who your perfect client is. And then I walk you through step by step on how to develop what your unique selling proposition is. Take time to go through that. What is your unique selling proposition? Next question. What are you committed to providing to your customers? So these are some questions in order to help you develop your mission statement. Here's some sample mission statements to give you an idea of where you're going. Keep in mind, powerful branding catalyzes action. Federal Express, what's the mission statement? Simple, the world on time. Another good thing to point out about mission statements, it's never ending. Can never be accomplished. It's just what you do. This is what you do. Federal Express, the world on time. UPS, moving at the speed of business. eBay, the world's online marketplace. Lens Crafters, helping people see better 1 hour at a time. Sylvan Learning Systems, success is learned. And here's the bottom line. Mission statements equals good marketing. It's as simple as that. How do you spell relief? Rolaids. R-O-A-L-I-D-S. That's a good example of a powerful mission statement branding. Okay? Great mission statements are short and memorable. So here's your homework. Why does your business exist? Why does your business exist? So again, let me give you the time blocks. Time block number 1. I want you to spend 1 hour to 2 hours and only focus on your vision and your mission statement. And I have a document that I'm going to send you that is going to help you through that exercise. Very compelling questions. Post it on the Facebook. Actually, here's what we do. Check this out. This particular event that you're on right now, if you go to my Facebook page, okay, John Pyron Coaching on Facebook, go to the events. You're going to find today's call. Okay, it's December, what is today? December 6th, right? So December 6th, there'll be that event in there. When you're done with your vision and mission statement, I want you to post it in that event. I myself and my assistant Ashley are going to get notified by that, and I'll give you some feedback, and you can get feedback from others on your vision and mission statement. So that's what we can do. Let's talk about objectives. And objectives are very powerful. And the biggest reason is they provide quantitative pulse of your business. Where are you at? You either are hitting the goal or you're not. You're either on track to hit it or you're not. Too many people, they write down grandiose objectives. They have no strategy in place to hit it and no plan to hit it, and then they wonder why they don't hit it. And I want to encourage you to make this year the last year that happens to you. If you can make this one commitment to yourself and give yourself a clean slate going into 2017 and say, from this point forward, I am going to honor myself and I'm going to honor my business. If you make that one decision, you will succeed. There's too much support out there for you to not succeed. Another reason objectives are powerful is they focus resources on specific results. They also hold people accountable and organizations as a whole accountable. When you have very well-written objectives for the business, you're able to hold people accountable to their plan, and the organization is accountable to its objectives. Because this is what we set as an organization that we're going to do. It also defines success in a measurable manner. So you've identified the objective. You've taken the time out. You've spent all this time nailing down, here's the objective I want to get done this year. And you clearly defined how you're going to measure it. Now all we have to do is measure it, and it gets exciting the closer you hit and get to the objective. It measures end results of work effort. Another reason it's powerful because it gives people and organizations specific targets to shoot for. And lastly, it minimizes subjectivity and emotionalism. There's nothing emotional about this. Once you set the objective, I don't care if you feel like it or not. You go to work and do it. That's what successful people do. They do the things that they said they were going to do long after the emotion in which they said it has passed. That's the definition of integrity. That's the definition of success. That's how you honor yourself. See, most of us translate integrity as being honest or telling the truth. And one of the things I've learned from my mentor, Grant Cardone, is this. It's honoring yourself. It's playing to your talents, to your potential. See, I'm not operating in integrity when I know I should be doing something and yet I'm not doing it. When I know I should be going after a goal and I know I'm capable of doing more, but yet I don't do it. That's not operating in integrity. I could be the most honest person on the planet, but if I'm broke, I'm not operating in integrity. I didn't say poor, I said broke. If I am not going out and making the money I know I should be making, I'm not operating in integrity. I'm being treasonous to myself and to my family. And by having very well-written objectives that fire you up, a good well-written objective should pull you towards it, not propel you away from it. Let me repeat that. A very well-written objective that is yours personally will get you fired up and pull you towards it, not be a source of negative emotion when you look at it. If you look at your objective and you feel shame and you feel guilt and you feel bad, it's because it's not your objective. It's somebody else's. Maybe you wrote down an objective that, maybe my brother wanted me to accomplish that, or my mother, or my father, or my friends, or maybe I'm measuring myself against somebody else. Stop doing that. Get objectives that you're fired up about. And so there's many types of objectives. There's sales objectives. There's quality control objectives. There's safety objectives. There's cost control, profitability, customer service, capacity objective, efficiency objectives, marketing, human resources, public relations, community, personal, investment, manufacturing, operations. There's all kinds of objectives. But again, No more than 9. You may have 25 things that you want to get accomplished this coming year, but I highly recommend you whittle it down to no more than 9. No more than 9 just fat, juicy, just unbelievably fired up objectives that you can get just, I mean, you know you're there when you read your objectives and you're like, oh my God, I just want to go out and do it right now. You know, I mean, you get fired up, man. So here's a simple formula for writing out your objectives. And it's simply this. Verb plus noun plus the date equals the objective. Verb plus noun plus date equals the objective. An example, I want to achieve sales. That's a verb. Of 50 million bucks, that's the noun. In 2017, that's the date. Verb plus noun plus date equals objective. So achieve sales of 50 million bucks 2017. Here's another one. Introduce 12 what? So introduce 12, that's the verb. What do I want to introduce? New products. Okay, so I want to introduce, which is the verb. What do I want to introduce? 12 new products. When do I want to introduce it? 3 per quarter. Here's another one. Reduce is the verb. Cost of goods sold is the noun. To 38% is the date. Reduce cost of goods sold to 38% is the noun. By Q2 is the date. Another one here. Complete engineer study, number 213, by March 31st. So complete is the verb. What am I going to complete? Engineering study number 213. By when? March 31st. Next one, increase manufacturing capacity. So I'm going to increase is the verb. What am I going to increase? Manufacturing capacity 50%. When am I going to get it done by? September 30th. So again, verb plus noun plus date equals the objective. It's a simple formula for writing out your objectives. I can't tell you how many people I've consulted over the years, and they want to make this the most complicated piece of the whole damn thing. And it's very simple. We don't need a 2 or 3 sentence objective. It's very simple. What am I going to do? Okay. Well, first of all, what's the action I'm going to take? To do what? By the date. So that's how you get down your objectives. Okay, so now it's your turn. Now, we talked about the first time block that you're going to do is going to be for your mission, or for your vision and your mission statement. The next time block that you're going to do is going to be for your objectives. And I want to give you some how-to. This is what I personally do. I whip out a legal notepad, and I look at the objectives that I accomplished this year. And I ask myself, what do I need to repeat next year? What are the objectives? Are these objectives something that I can repeat next year? And I write them down. Then I brainstorm. What are all the things that I want to get accomplished in 2017? And I fill up the legal pad. And I write them out in either 1, 2, or 3 sentences. Okay, and it's okay in this particular exercise to do that because we're going to whittle it down to a 1-sentence objective. So whip out a legal pad. You can go as many pages as you need to. Just write down all the things that you want to accomplish in your business. And again, you are a business in 2017. Now, next step, through the process of elimination, can I create combinations with those objectives? Some of those objectives, by accomplishing one objective, I accomplished 5 more. So can I combine the objectives? The next step is a process of elimination, okay? If I read objective number 1, it's important. Is objective number 2 more important or less important than number 1? And I just do a process of elimination until I get it down to 9. And then I go back through and I make sure it's structured properly. Do I have a verb plus a noun plus a date? Is it measurable? Okay? So to give you an example of what not an objective is. Achieve, which is a verb. Total 100% respect from my children is the noun by December 31st of next year. Why is that not an objective? Because it's subjective. It's my opinion. It's their opinion. I can say, hey, do you respect Dad? And they go, yeah. Well, have I really accomplished anything? I have a 9-year-old, man. All I got to do is go and buy him an iPad, and he's going to have a lot of respect for me. Well, he'll tell you he does. Doesn't mean he has it. Okay? Here's the point. You know you got a great objective if it, and I want you to pay very close attention. I want to write this down. You know you have a great objective when it causes you to grow personally. When it forces you outside of your comfort zone. When it scares you, either scares you a lot or scares you a little. You know you're on track with the right objective if it forces your company to grow. Some of you have been in business for 5, 6, 7, 12, 14, 15 years, and you still don't have an employee because you're scared to hire an employee. Because you're looking at it and going, I know this because over 61% of the small businesses in this country don't have any employees. None. 0. And so I'm going to tell you right now, if that, you should put down an objective to make enough money this year to hire an employee. Here's why. My client Anastasios, like I said, this time last year, it was him. It was he, himself, and himself. He almost tripled his business. Well, he definitely doubled it, but he is going to look like it's going to be like he's going to triple it by the end of the year. And the main reason he did is he hired a full-time W-2 workers' comp tax burden employee. Okay? Because every time you pay $1 to an employee, it costs you about 25 to 30% more. And most business owners out there, oh my God, that's so much money to pay, right? But I'm going to tell you this, man, when I looked at the numbers, what he paid his guy, he earned almost 3 times that amount in profit. That employee didn't cost him nothing. And guess what? Great employees don't cost anything. Average employees will cost you a lot of money. Poor employees will make you want to quit. So the key is to hire slowly and fire quickly. And so if you've been sitting on the fence as a business owner for God knows how long, and it's just been you're Mr. or Mrs. Solopreneur, and you're proud of it, I got news for you. Stop being so selfish. Your company needs to grow so we know who you are. The product or service, the value that you bring to the marketplace, you can only impact so many people by staying small. And quite frankly, it's selfish, self-centered. Yeah, I'm calling you out on it. Because here's the deal. I understand you might be scared. I understand you may not know how to do it. But you know what? Get over it. Find somebody to help you. You need to grow. The only reason I'm being passionate about this is over half my clients were solopreneurs this time last year. Every one of them have hired employees for the very first time over the last 12 months, and all of them have more than doubled their companies as a result. Not only have they doubled their companies, they're making a bigger impact in the marketplace. they're making a bigger impact than another. You think about it. You bring on an employee, not only are you making an impact in the marketplace by doubling and leveraging your skill set, your company, but you're now making an impact in another family. I mean, you're providing a wage, a livelihood to somebody else. But here's the thing that's more powerful. You have an ability to mentor somebody who works for you and help their life be different. See, one of the things that I took on a company recently, they had 11 employees. I got rid of 2 employees that were very poor employees. They were dragging the whole damn company down. And then I took an average employee, and I'm making him a great employee because he has that skill set and he didn't have the leadership. So now I'm left with 9 people that are going to rock and roll. And I told every single one of them, and I'm going to tell you this as well, when you bring on your employees, this is your ultimate goal. None of you will retire here. That's what I told them. Absolutely none of you will retire here. Those days are gone unless you want to go work for a state or local government. But while you're working here, I promise you this, it's going to be the best place you've ever worked. I'm going to mentor you personally on how to be better at your job and as a person and help you achieve your own personal goals. And I promise you, when you do leave here, you'll look back and this will be the best job you've ever had in your entire life. And your life will be dramatically different and changed because you had an opportunity to work here. And if you operate your business and your company like that, I promise you, you will always hit your objectives in your business for the rest of your business life by helping your employees achieve their objectives. See, it's not about just you. It's not about just you and your company. It's about you doing this exercise that I'm talking about between now and December 31st for you personally. You're going to put on your own oxygen mask first. You're going to take 2 hours out. You're going to do your mission and your vision statement. Then you're going to take another 2 hours out and you're going to do your objectives like we're talking about here. And then you're going to take another 2 hours out and you're going to work on your strategies. And then if you got some time in that block, you're going to do your action plans, or you're going to set another 4th time block to do your action plans. And once you've successfully done it for you, you're going to reach out to me and book a 15-minute session. And I'm going to say, good job. Go and teach it to your employees now. And you're going to help them create their own one-page strategic plan. And you're going to start treating them as they're their own business inside your business. And I promise you, your objectives are going to seem small once you've done this. How do I know this? From example, man, from freaking years of doing this. You want to grow? Put your butt on the line, hire an employee, get their objectives. Now you got somebody else's goals to strive for. When I took over that company, man, you think I can rest on my laurels now? I made big commitments to those people. And we're going to rock and roll. So let's go on to the next one, strategies. Okay? Strategies, okay, now that we have our objectives written down, strategies are going to answer these types of questions. Number 1, what are your core products or services? What markets will you serve? How will you price your products? How will you create initial trial of your products? What are the sources of revenue? What will we make versus buy? Another strategy type question is, how will you leverage technology? How will you attract and retain key employees? It all comes down to leverage, man. A key strategy, if you're a solopreneur, should be to create leverage in your business. How will you exit the business? See, good strategy statements can be broad, yet they create incredible focus. And every single business owner should have an exit strategy. And here's what I mean by that. Either you want to exit and contain and retain ownership where the company runs without you while you go do something else and you have somebody else running it, or you create a business that you can sell or take public. What is your exit strategy? The beautiful thing about having a really well-written exit strategy, I can tell you from personal experience, is the freedom it provides. Simple as that. Strategies are broad statements covering calendar quarters or multiple years that, number one, set the direction, philosophy, and values. Number two, establish guidelines for evaluating important decisions. Number three, set limits on what a company will or will not do. And lastly, provides a blueprint or a roadmap for building and managing the company. So to put it in layman terms, let's say you and I wanted to take a trip and we wanted to go to New York City. Would that be enough to say, hey, we want to go to New York City? No, New York's huge. New York City specifically is huge. In order to achieve our vision, we need to know where we're going. So let's just say we want to go to Central Park. Is that still enough? No. Okay, so I want to go to New York City and I want to go to Central Park. Well, that's a big-ass park. Okay, so I want to go to New York City, Central Park, a specific park bench located next to a specific fountain. Now, that's a very well-written vision statement. Okay? Next is the mission statement. Okay, how do I want to get to New York? Am I going to fly a plane? Am I going to fly a plane, rent a car, then rent a bike? Am I going to take a train? Am I going to take a motorcycle, a car, a bus? What am I going to, am I going to walk? That's the mission statement. How am I going to get there? The objectives are the milestones along the way on the trip. So I want to get to Salt Lake City by tomorrow at midnight. I want to get to Nebraska the day after. I want to get to Chicago the day after. Stop and have a cigar. Okay, kind of a side note there. And then I want to get to New York City, check into the hotel. Then I want to get a bicycle and rent it and go over there. Those are the objectives, the milestones along the way. Strategies are who's allowed on the trip with me. Okay? Who's allowed in the car? What will I do? What will I not do? What is my strategy on how to get there? Will I sleep for 3 hours and drive for 3 hours? Will I take a person along with me that knows how to drive, that has a license, and will they drive half the time, and will I drive half the time? What are the strategies we're going to use along the way? Now, there are many different types of strategies. And here's a slide for it. Growth, products is a strategy. Maybe I want to introduce a few new products. Maybe I want to add on some new revenues. Strategic alliances. Strategic alliances are huge strategies. Some of you are not taking advantage of the strategic alliances that you have. If you are a service-based business, my advice would be to go back and listen to several of the calls I've done in the past on how to create person of influence relationships. Create strategic alliances because you all are going after the same client. So a good strategy to be written would be create 5 new strategic alliances and meet with them monthly. That would be a great strategy. Positioning could be a strategy. Client acquisition can be a strategy. Staffing or workforce, hiring that first employee. Outsourcing could be a strategy. Cultural management style could be a strategy. Target markets, pricing, technology, change, exit, internet, initial trial, revenue model. These are all types of strategies. Let me give you some fill in the blanks. So fill in these blanks. Become internationally known for blank. Become nationally known for blank. Become regionally known for blank. Focus on blank, blank, and blank markets. Build client base by blank, blank, and blank. Promote initial trial by blank, blank, and blank. Create add-on sales by blank, blank, and blank. Attract and retain key employees by blank and blank. Use strategic alliances to blank, blank, and blank. Fill in the blanks to these. Create your own blanks to fill in. And again, when you and I go over your one-page plan, we're going to be looking at these strategies, and I'm going to give you some coaching on how to make them even better. But fill in the blank strategy statements help the entrepreneur to quickly understand the concept of strategies. Yet they still require extensive thinking and crafting to be well written. And I agree with that statement 100%. That's why you want to set aside an entire 2-hour block of time with just you to do your strategies. Now, if you are mentoring with someone, okay, if you have a coach or a mentor, and if you don't, that should be one of your strategies this year, working with a mentor, okay? But if you have one, here's my advice. Create your own strategies first and then go meet with your coach or mentor. A good coach or mentor will have you give it your shot first, and then will help you tweak it so you can be very effective. So now it's your turn. Take a 2-hour block of time and create your own strategies. Again, no more than 9. The fewer, the better. Think in terms of combinations. How many strategies can you combine to make it more effective? All right, we're coming into the home stretch. Let's talk about action plans. Take a little sip of the little coffee here. Action plans. Answer these specific questions. Number 1, what specific actions and projects must the business complete to achieve its goals and or objectives? So when you look at, once you've gone through this exercise, this is going to be the very last time block that you do. What I do for me personally is I look at my vision statement, I look at my mission statement, I make sure the objectives are exactly what I want to achieve. That's why I like to sleep on it. That's why I like to come back to it. I look at the strategies and make sure those are the strategies that are going to work. And then I have to ask myself, over the next 30 days, what can I get done to move the ball forward? What can I get done to move the ball forward? And that's what I come up with my action plan. Next, who is responsible for completing the work? Okay, another question to ask when you're putting together your action plans. Who's responsible for completing the work? Next, when will the work be completed? So a good action plan is, okay, this needs to get done by this date. Those are the action plans. Okay, again, good action plan is verb plus noun plus date. Okay? Plans are significant business and infrastructure building projects, not someone's job description. Very important. Plans could be a project. It could be a single thing that needs to get done. But I like to look in terms of plans as 30-day increments. 30-day increments. A lot easier for me to get stuff done in short, bite-sized chunks. So let's go back to Colorado Window Company. Here's some sample plan statements that they came up with. Complete formal business plan by March 31st, 2017. Next, raise seed round from family and friends by May 31st, 2017. Next, complete beta product by 10/31/2017. Introduced at Comdex in December 2017. In Q1 17, sales campaign in 4 major markets. In Q2 17, roll out to next 8 markets. Introduced line extensions at Comdex 2017. Here's some sample plans. Okay, what is it that you're going to do and what is the time frame? So there you go. That's one of the last chunks that you need to do is work on your plans. So again, let's recap. We're going to set aside a 2-hour block, 1 to 2 hour block of time. We're going to nail down our vision and our mission statement. Next, we're going to set out another 1 to 2 hour block of time. We're going to go over our objectives. What is it we want to accomplish in 2017? Next, we're going to set aside a 1 to 2 hour block of time to look at our vision, our mission, and our objectives and come up with up to 9 strategies, no more than 9, that we can use to achieve those objectives. Then we're going to sleep on it again. Then we're going to come back for another 1 to 2 hour session and we're going to complete our action plans. And if you do it in this manner, you will get your business, your one-page plan completed by the end of the year. You're going to be a whole lot more fired up about going into the year. And it's going to be something that you're going to look at. So let me close with some additional thoughts about business plans and planning. Number 1 is the one-page plans are very flexible and can be used for a variety of purposes. Okay, you can use it for the complete plan for a company, a summation of a traditional plan. So this month I've got 4 clients that are going after a state award that they got to apply for by January 2nd. I'm going to help them put together a full-blown 25 to 50 page traditional plan. It's usually used for funding, usually used for winning an award of some sort. Okay, and in this case they're going for 3 different tax incentives the state of California is awarding to small businesses, and it requires a full-blown traditional plan. The nice thing about doing a full-blown traditional plan and then doing a summarization of a traditional plan is your one-page plan's a whole lot more powerful that way. Next, it becomes a plan for profit center, department, program, or project. Now here's the deal. Once you complete your one-page strategic plan for your business, the most powerful thing you can do is sit with a department, a different profit center, a person, and help them put together their own one-page plan for their area. It's also a document to summarize ideas for a new business. So if you're thinking about a new business, this is a great way to summarize the ideas for your new business. Another way to use a one-page plan is if you have a major project or program that you're going to implement. It could be a very good, effective tool for creating the vision for that major project or that program, creating the mission for that project or program, what the objectives are, what the strategies are, and what the action plans are. Next is a great presentation tool. So when you're going to go after funding, right? So we got another client's going after $100,000. Actually, they're going after $400,000 from an investor, and I'm going to help them put together a traditional plan, but we're going to summarize it in a one-page plan that we're going to present on a PowerPoint slide. So one-page plan is a great presentation tool. But here's the most powerful use of a one-page plan. Once you've summarized your one-page business plan, is creating a personal and professional one-page plan for you on a personal level. Have your wife do this. If your kids are old enough, have your kids do this. But definitely have your employees do this. And here's the key. Do not rush the process. Don't rush the process, man. Take your time. It's worth it. Every single time I rush the process, I regret it. That's why for the last 5 years, I've always taken the last 2 weeks off, and I've focused all my energy and attention on my one-page strategic plan. And I've found, now you may not be in a situation where you can do that, and I totally understand, I totally get that, but you do have the ability to set aside 4 2-hour blocks to get your plan done. And the key is, don't rush it. Heck, man, if you got to set aside, 8 2-hour blocks of time, then make it happen. The greatest value in creating a plan is not the final document. It's the communication, prioritization, focus, and clarity and learning that make the process worthwhile. I promise you, when you go through this process, you are going to be so much more clear on where you're going, and you're going to be able to communicate it effectively, and it's going to help you prioritize your day and your week and your month and your quarter and your year, and your focus is going to get so much more intense. And you're going to look back at the end of 2000. I want you to imagine for a second that you went through this process and you completed your plan. And here we are, it's December 2017. And here we are again, you're on this, because I'm going to do this exact same call in December of next year if I'm still alive, God willing. And here we are next year, December 5th, December 6th, 2017, and you show up on the one-page strategic planning call that I'm going to do next year, and you say, man, John, I was on last year's call, dude. And I did exactly what you said, and I accomplished every single one of my objectives. What would that feel like for you? I want you to imagine that for a second. It's going to be awesome. Okay? Business plans communicate a lot, man. The key is the choice of words and phrases in your business plan speaks volumes about you. So choose your words carefully. That's why it's so important to take your time and do it right. You will be a lot more fulfilled personally. You'll be a lot more fired up about your business next year. Literally 2017 could be the best year you've ever had in your business and in your personal life if you do what I'm talking about here. Next, your business plan will telegraph what you know about your business, the industry, and your competitors. So be certain your words describe your knowledge. That's why it's very important to understand your industry, your business, your competitors, and take your time to write your business plan. Next, success is always dependent upon others understanding the essence of one's business project ideas and concepts. It's always dependent upon that. Let me close with this one disclaimer here. Okay? A one-page business plan is not a substitute for a well-written, complete business plan of 20 to 50 pages in length that fully documents the business opportunity, the markets, products, business model, the management team, as well as the financials. However, if you must write a complete business plan, it is much easier to do if one has completed a well-crafted one-page business plan first. So if you want to write a big, full-blown business plan, like the 4 people that I'm going to help do this with over the next 4 weeks or 3 weeks, we're going to be starting with a one-page plan. And then we're going to take that one-page plan, we're going to expand on it so the investors and state of California and all those people understand what it is that we're trying to accomplish. But it's a whole lot easier to complete a well-crafted one-page business plan first than it is to write out a 20 to 50-page plan. So highly, highly, highly recommend you do that. Here's my final thought for you. If you don't get the words right, you might build the wrong business. And you may never get the numbers right. Let me repeat that. If you don't get the words right in your plan, you might build the wrong business. And you may never get the numbers right as a result. So it's important to get the words right first so you don't build the wrong business. Now, if you want to get a hold of me for any reason, okay, here's my information. It's johnpyron.com, John, P as in Paul, YRON.com. My cell number is right there, 916-765-2596. The email address is jpyron@johnpyron.com. Now, I told you I'm not going to sell jack crap on today's webinar or conference call, and I'm not. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to work. I want you to take the time over the next 3 weeks, and I want you to take time out to get your one-page strategic plan done. Once you complete that, I want you to go to johnpyron.com and click on the button called Book Appointment. You might want to do it now so you put yourself on a deadline. Book your appointment to speak with me, and we will go over. Now, if you do not find a time there, you just need to let me know, and I will make the time for you. So book your time. We'll go over your business plan. We'll get you rock and rolling for the year. I will earn the right to talk to you about other things. So go out and make it happen. I hope this has been valuable for you today. Hope you got a lot out of it. Share this with everyone you know. And I look forward to seeing you in the coming year, and I look forward to coaching you in your business. Have a great one. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.